so part 3. Coming up next is number 72, 6'4", 207-pound right winger Kirill Maximov. Born in Moscow, Russia, Kirill played with Niagara last year of the OHL. He had a pretty good year. In 63 games, put up 40 goals and 39 assists for 79 points, which is nice. He was a plus 38, which is also nice. But then you look at his penalty minutes, and they're not nice. 118 penalty minutes. Obviously, he's got something to work on during rookie camp. And hopefully, while he does keep a little bit of the edge that made him a 5th round pick of the Oilers, you don't want him to be running around, and kind of Nazem Kadri, style, where one bad hit and all he sees is just that red mist and goes out and breaks someone's neck on a dirty hit. Obviously, you don't want to see that, but you still want him to keep that little bit of an edge, that got him drafted. And then in the playoffs with Niagara, he got 2 games in, and then just didn't do anything. I think it was he got hurt. If I don't have time to talk about it later, I'll put it in the description after I find out. So he got 2 games, no goals, no assists, had 4 penalty minutes, and was a -1. But, like I said, he might have gotten hurt, so he didn't really have a lot of time to, to get going in the playoffs to begin with. Then comes the second half of what I liked to call the dynamic duo, the real Batman and Robin of the Condors last year. A 6', 184-pound center from Brighton, Michigan, not Brighton, Missouri, sorry, Cooper Marody, number 65. Now, Coop played the vast majority of his year with the Condors. He got into 58 games, put up 19 goals and 45 assists for 64 points, which great, point per game plus. He took 40 penalty minutes and was a plus 31. We really don't need to go that much into Cooper, because he's been talked about a lot as a guy who could make the Oilers out of camp. I happen to hope he doesn't, but at the same time, I want him to eventually make the Oilers. And then in the playoffs, kind of the same thing with Maximov. He got hurt in the first round and just didn't come back. This one is one that I think, his injury is one that sparked a rivalry. Because Cale Kessie, former Condor, just laid a brutal hit on Marody, that left him wobbly. And, kind of going back to my first video on this channel, I was annoyed that none of the Condors stood up for him, immediately after that hit, because it was the second time where he had gotten rocked on a borderline hit. But, the past is the past. But fuck Cale Kessie. He can die in a fire. He can rot in the ECHL from here on out, for all I care. So, with his call up to Edmonton, he got 6 games. Didn't really look like he did much. The only thing that's really notable is he was a -1. So obviously you're hoping that one, the injury that knocked him out of the playoffs is gone, which it probably should be, given that happened in, I believe, June, and it's 2 months, 2-3 months later. So you're obviously hoping that injury is gone, and you're hoping that he just keeps putting up points. I have him as probably being the Oilers' first-line center, but knowing my luck, he'll be called up to Edmonton. If he is called up, we have the first-line center that will be replacing him. In number 70, Ryan McLeod. Oh, Marody's right-handed, by the way, and so is Maximov. Just realized I forgot to mention that. So McLeod is 6'3", 206. He's left-handed, and he played with 3 teams last year. With his hometown Mississauga Steelheads, the Saginaw Spirit, and the Bakersfield Condors. So split between Mississauga and Saginaw, he got 63 games with 19 goals, and 43 assists for 72 points, which is very nice. He had 33 penalty minutes, and it was a +6. With Saginaw in the OHL playoffs, he got into 17 games, 5 goals, 7 assists for 12 points, had 4 penalty minutes, and was a +8. Which, hey, how are you going to complain about that? He was almost point per game. And then he came to the Condors for the playoffs. And I thought he looked really good. I thought he looked ready to play, for this upcoming year. Got 5 games in, had 3 assists, no goals. Didn't take any penalty minutes, which is always a good thing. There were a couple where I was like, maybe. And then he was a +2. So now we get to another guy who I'm pretty sure, I know he got injured during his playoff run. Number 59, big right winger, 6'5", 204, left-hand shot from Prague of the Czech Republic, Ostap Safin. So Ostap had a pretty good year, all things considered. I'm gonna find out why he played so few games, and if I need to, it'll be done in the comments. Okay, so editor Alex here. I found out why Ostap missed so many games this year. So during the World Juniors, it was reported that he had a hip injury that took him out until March. So that kind of explains why he didn't play, that many games in the regular season, was because he was rehabbing his hip. And then for the Memorial Cup, his shoulder got separated. So hopefully, he gets healthy again. And so, yeah, back to your regularly scheduled me. Because the list has him as only having played, 32, 36, about 40 games in all of last year. And that was split between the Czech Republic's under-20 team for the World Juniors, where he got 5 games with 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points, which, great, point per game, 6 penalty minutes, but, he also only played 5 games, that's a penalty every game and a half, or something like that, and a +1. Which, hey, that's a pretty good That's a pretty good World Juniors for only 5 games. And then he played 15 games in the regular season for the Halifax Mooseheads of the QMJHL, where he got 3 goals and 8 assists for 11 points, with 14 penalty minutes and a +1. You'd like the totals, well, you'd like the games played and total to, go back up. And then in the playoffs, he got into 17 games with 2 assists for 2 points. He had 8 penalty minutes and was a -4, which is a little concerning. But then you go and look at the other player that the Oilers picked from the Halifax Mooseheads. Raphael Lavoie didn't have a great plus-minus in the playoffs and Memorial Cup. So maybe that's the defense wasn't great on that team. So that's just a thing to maybe hold in consideration, is maybe the defense and goaltending wasn't great. And then in his Memorial Cup run, he got into 4 games before he got hurt. Didn't score, didn't get any assists. He had 2 penalty minutes and was a -2. So again, games got to go up. His point total would be nice if it went up. Really, it's stay healthy. Stay healthy, play a full year, and then, okay, let's see where you are. So if he does make it in time for rookie camp or training camp, then great. We'd like to see him at 100%. If he isn't, well, then, stay healthy, get healthy, focus on getting healthy, and then worry about getting your hockey stuff back, and then being ready. Because, a player's health should always come first. And we go to another guy who I've already talked about with the Condors, in another 6'5", very large man. 6'5", 212, left-handed shot, number 54, Bo Starrett. Yes, little brother of Shane Starrett. Like I said, I have a video on Bo, where I talk a little bit about him, but I'll just recap it really quick. If you want to go check that video out again, it'd be nice. So he played for the Cornell Big Red of the ECAC. It's college hockey. He got into 36 games with 8 goals, 7 assists for 15 points, 43 penalty minutes, and a +4. He was described as defensively sound, pretty good face-off guy, and kind of mean. So, really, those are all good, good qualities to have in a big center. So go watch my, my Starrett signing video and my roster projections video if you want to see more of my thoughts on him. Now we move to a guy who is very fast, 6 foot, 190 pounds, left shot, left winger, number 51, Jacob Stukel. Now, Stukes played most of his season with the Thunder in the ECHL, so we'll talk about that first. He got into 57 games, had 19 goals, 23 assists for 42 points. He was a +5 and had 24 penalty minutes. Then he got called up to the Condors, and in 10 games, put up 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points, with 2 penalty minutes and a +4. Now, the big thing with Stukel is he's fast, and then despite his smaller size, he didn't seem that scared to go and get the puck out of the dirty areas. Um, there were a couple games where, he was going into the corners against some big guys and coming out with the puck. And they were harassing him, cross checks to the back, slashes in the leg. He didn't go down. Stayed up, got the puck, and created a scoring chance. Stukes kind of has this, or at least to me, it seems like he has this, do what you want to me. I'm going to get the puck, either in the back of your net or to someone who can. And I think that's a great quality, in a hockey player. So if he can keep that up, he might stay in Bakersfield. And then we get to a really, really interesting signing, or assignment to rookie camp. Number 68, Nolan Vesey. He's a left winger, 6'1", 194, left-handed. He played most of the year in Wichita. 32 games, 3 goals and 7 assists, for 10 points, plus 14 penalty minutes. And then he got into 17 games with the Condors, put up 3 assists for 3 points, 11 penalty minutes, and plus 2. He got into all 10 games that he got into 10 games, with the Condors in the playoffs, and put up 1 assist and was a -3. This one is interesting to me solely because I didn't think Vesey was a rookie. He seems kind of old to be a rookie, but if he can put up some more points, put up a full season in one league or another, I mean, you're not really going to complain about that. And we get to the smallest guy on this list, and I think we all kind of knew who this was going to be. Number 56, a whole whopping 5'8", 153, right winger Kyler Yamamoto. So Yams was another guy who really couldn't stay healthy, it seemed. Ori was just getting yo-yoed a bit. So in 27 games with the Condors, he got 10 goals and 8 assists for 18 points. Was a plus 12, and also had 16 penalty minutes. So, it's not great. And then with 17 games with the Oilers, he had 1 goal and 1 assist for 2 points, 2 penalty minutes, and a -6. And then he got, I think it was a wrist injury just before the playoffs that caused him to miss the entire playoffs. With Yamamoto, it's really, find a way to get around some of the bigger guys who are going to try and take advantage of you because of your stature. Get faster, maybe get a little bit more greedy with your shot. And use your hands to just deke the jock off of some guys. Because I saw a goal, where he basically pulled off the Nikita Kucherov. Where he fakes a move and the puck slides in the goalie's 5-hole. Granted, I don't know if that was intentional, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was, because I've seen him do it. It was an amazing goal. So really with Yamamoto, it's stay healthy, make sure your wrist is good, and get faster and maybe more greedy. So that really kind of wraps up the the roster part of this video, with my next 4 minutes, I'm gonna try and do some sort of really quick roster or lineups. In net, I think it's gonna be Skinner, Wells, Rodrigue. Your defense will probably be Bouchard, Samorukov for a bit, but like for the majority, it'll probably be Bouchard and Desharnais, and then Cap and it'll be Logan Day, and probably whoever doesn't play with Bouchard. And then De Jong, Cap, and Bellamy are gonna fight for 5, 6, and 7. Your top line will probably be Benson, Marody, Lavoie, and then probably, I guess, Keeler, McLeod, and Safin. Your third line will probably be Stukel, Starrett, and Hebig. And your fourth line is probably Starrett, Iacobellis, and VC. With Keeler being your 13th forward. Don't take that as gospel. It'll probably be wrong day one of camp. I just kind of did it on, okay, who are the top prospects that Edmonton will probably want to see, and see how they do in marquee minutes. So I think really, obviously you want to watch these because I think they're going to be on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Obviously you want to watch these games, but you also don't want to take it as, oh, this is what our prospect pool is going to look like. Because you've got veterans from the Condors that are going to be there that are fighting for a spot. You have the possibility of guys getting sent down from Edmonton, which causes guys to get sent down to Wichita. So really don't take any lines you see as concrete. Because it'll really depend on what coach is coaching them and how they fit in the system. So thank you, and Mike, I hope you appreciated the 3-part episode that you asked me for, and I'm really ready for hockey season, guys. Just a couple more weeks, and then we're back.